Terps in the house. Terps are in the house. And so am I. Let me put on some more lights. And let's get this thing popping, man. Get this thing popping, man. Alright. And I drank some water. I'm thirsty. It got hot as a mug. Luckily, it just rained, so hopefully that'll take some of the heat, dissipate some of the heat. Yeah. And I found my remote. Finally. Yay. Which of these services do you have a positive opinion of? Big pharma, pharmacy benefit managers, corporate hospitals, none of the above. Um, None of the above, really. But
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I kind of like Brittany Renner on Kick. She wouldn't really talk about this stuff on Instagram, and that's because her Instagram is typically short form content, her hanging out or taking photos, but not necessarily her
I
going
thought about
into
doing
her
Kit. I
personal life.
actually signed up for
We
an
do
account, but
see it on other podcasts, but we never see it coming from her directly on her own platform. And because
I just
Brittany
don't
Renner is
think that will.
very, very
I'd rather build
toxic,
this up before I
that
start
kind of gives some
diversifying
shots
among
at
social
her
media
schedules.
platforms. Because originally I was going to do like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I was contemplating others. So it was like Rumble and Kick. But I might as well build this up before I build up anything else. Besides, YouTube pays the best out of all of them anyway.
But you happy with your child bride? Okay, leave me alone then. Leave me the fuck alone. Because you're mad about what?
That was for Kevin Gates, her ex-husband. And then
there is no co-parenting because
this bitch is crashing out.
Waste time. I don't care how public, like even though
like she just needs therapy. Like we need to stop saying people need therapy. They need psychiatric medication because a lot of people say they've gotten therapy and it's not really beneficial. They need actual like psychiatric intervention. Make for make forced intervention great again. We need to take it back to prior to the 70s when you could still do forced interventions. I know things like that can be abused, but anything can be abused. That doesn't mean we still shouldn't have those things in place. Anyway, again, shout out to everyone. This is Ask Me Anything format. My name is Just A Contrarian, or you can just call me Contrarian. I'm rocking my little Maryland jersey here. Gotta represent. And like I said, you can ask me questions, and I'm going to be watching YouTube clips as we go along. All right. And I'm going to also make sure I have this on display on my laptop because sometimes the vertical live streams don't display the comments. So it's always good to have a second eye on these things. So, because that's happened so many times, it's not even funny. So, here we go. Yeah, the guy they got playing the new Black Panther and Black Panther 3. Why? I hope that's supposed to be his son. That better be his son, because that dude looks too fucking goofy to play uh, T'Challa. I'm sorry. He why? It's like a bargain basement Timu T'Challa if I ever seen one. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the image of him, of the guy they got playing him, this British African. We need to stop giving British African roles that were made for Black Americans, by the way. I said what I said. Then we're going to get back to roasting, well, having O'Shea Duke Jackson roast Brittany Jenner.
Goggins, director X17.
I'm turning it up a little bit.
But wait,
But you have it with your child bride. Okay, leave me alone then.
Oh shit.
Leave me the phone. Because you're mad about what?
that was for Kevin Gates, her ex-husband.
There is no co-parenting because
Oh, okay. I did
co-parenting
have comments here.
would require
Let me
two,
put on my
no,
glasses
harmonious,
so I can see these.
togetherness, team. And it's
Sorry guys if I didn't see these comments.
That
Like
was
it's
for
not showing up on my
T.J.
vertical live stream.
T.J. did the dad. Now, guys, all of this could be true. I mean, Kevin go with somebody else.
Don't say bad words. My mom will get mad at me. Then don't be on my live stream. This ain't for kids.
Involved in all of this is
Go to something more appropriate. I'd cuss.
And then there's
This is grown folk
situation
shit.
of her going back and forth with academics and Myron Gaines. But
Nicola,
every
what's up?
time she gets into it with
Tenton, what's
somebody,
up?
can you guess
I'm doing
what
all
she
right.
does?
Well, your YouTube
What's up,
is
Carlton?
not monetized, so you're literally yelling at the screen for nothing. And you're just mad. You want this thing, you don't know how to ask for it, babe.
So everybody who is critical of Brittany Renner
Ain't nobody want her
just
used up
wants
ass
to
pussy.
sleep with her. Now I'll come back to that in a minute because
I mean,
this
some
is
people do.
an accusation that
But man,
Brittany
fuck her.
Renner makes on the entire industry. Like
Ain't nobody
Brittany
checking
Renner's
for that bitch
whole
anymore.
Situation is about blaming
Her
men
her
for everything.
when she was desired, that was
This is what I
10
mean.
years ago.
That's not your kind of way because you love me. You love me, academics, and you've been in love with me for a long time.
So Brittany Renner is saying that she will never do OnlyFans because she can't be bought. And
You've literally been
everybody
bought.
who wants to deal with her in an industry like podcasting, big brand deals, they're men. They don't want to just help her for free. They want something else. Now, while that may be true that guys do want to sleep with Brittany Renner, the reality is that is largely
I don't want
Here
black
you
chicks.
have Brittany Renner with a long
Or whatever she
brand
is.
deal with
Half
Fashion
black,
Nova.
whatever.
She's been with Fashion Nova as an influencer for a long time. Brittany Renner
Bitch been
also
bouncing around more
has
than a basketball.
4.2 million followers. Right? And every time she posts
Or more than
a
LeBron
video,
to switch
she's
teams.
getting like
Welcome to the
13%
76ers,
of
LeBron.
people coming on there, and that's pretty good. Like, let's look at her latest views: 501,000 views, 483.
But Brittany Jenner is LeBron going to the 76ers. She's not LeBron going to the Miami Heat.
So the reality is that Brittany
She's
Renner
past that
has one of the
season.
most engaged audiences you can get. Anybody would
Or
watch her
she's
if she became a
Jordan
YouTuber,
going to the
they would
Washington
watch her.
Wizards.
And people
She's
would
not
wanna
Jordan
deal with
going
Brittany
to the
Renner
Bulls
because
back in the
obviously
80s.
Brittany Renner is authentic. But let me tell you what's really wrong with Brittany Renner and why she doesn't appeal to most brands. Like, look at some of these booty cheek photos here, right? And we're trying not to get the video demonetized. But some of the stuff that Brittany Renner does, she can't get wholesome brand deals that pay a lot of money. That would have nothing to do with men because a lot of women would support Brittany Renner. I mean, she's with Fashion Nova, but what about
Carlton says, I don't know why she gets so much attention. Because she's an IG hoe. She's an IG model. The way she's an IG model is the way I'm a Jedi Knight.
That she can get money from.
Okay.
That she could be doing. But she's a crash
If it,
out and no
actually, I think it's more authentic that I'm a Jedi Knight than she's an IG model. Because there is an actual Jedi church. There's an actual Jedi church. And anyone can independently identify with membership to said Jedi church. There's multiple ones there. It started in, I think, New Zealand, and there's one in Australia, the UK, and now in the US. And there's really no formal protocol for joining. So I'm more authentically a Jedi Knight than she is an IG model. She has brand deals, so technically you can call her an IG model. But most of the bitches that call themselves IG models don't have brand deals. They just post thirst trapping pics and have a bunch of followers. That's not a model. Like, to me, you're not a model unless you actually are signed with an agency.
But talk to brand managers and they'll probably tell you. Brittany Renner is hard to work with. Anybody who changes
Something like the hell. Okay. So someone was Nigga knocking. I was about to say this. I had to grab the toolie.
Boyfriends, as much as Brittany Ritter does, also changes managers, changes editors, changes producers. And that's why she's on Kick, because she can't fire herself, and that's probably good for her to be on Kick.
She can
Because
fire
she
herself
can't work with
by doing shit to
anybody.
get booted off
And
the
again,
platform.
guys, anybody who has the kind of range
Carlin
that
says
Brittany Ritter
models
has,
are
she's big on
trained
every
at
platform, by the way.
posing.
She's big on X, formerly
It's
Twitter.
geometry
She's big
involved.
on, she's on
Yeah,
TikTok,
so
she's
I
big there.
once
She has
aud-
moves like most of us don't have. And that
auditioned for a
can't be
modeling
denied.
agency back
But
in
you
the
know what else
90s
can't be denied?
If you
when
have access to, if you're at the
Ride.
casino, you
What
have
was the
access
bus?
to all the
That
millionaires.
Spike Lee
She works
film
all
about
NBA
these guys
players,
going to the Million Man March
soccer
called
players, this
Ride on the
person.
Bus, whatever it was
8
called.
years
They were looking
afterwards,
for
you're
extras.
in your Kia with the AC off,
The
talking
shady thing
you
about their
got
modeling
moved
agency is they wanted you to pay for the screen
Mississippi
test.
financially
And
rebuilt. Perhaps
something
maybe you didn't do something right.
something
So
struck me as off with that, and my instincts were right because after I looked it up online, I found out that no, a modeling agency that actually wants you isn't going to make you pay for a screen test, because if they actually want you, they're going to pay for that themselves because they know you're worth the money. Whereas typically there's a lot of fugazi modeling agencies
It's still
who will bring you in there and make money off of
Instagram,
having
but it's
people
just
audition
red
and
pill, whatever.
pay for a
It's
screen
shameful
test.
for a man to walk in the room with a girl that has everything. It's
They were because they were
Even if a
pushing
man
hard.
is a straight
Pause.
acts like
But
it's
they were
cool,
like,
he
yo,
knows it's shameful.
can't you get, why don't you call up your parents if they can pay for your screen test? I'm like, they're not paying for that. Like I was like, they want me to find a job, but they're not going. I said they're not going to pay for me to do a screen test for a job. Like that's not going to happen. It's like, you sure? You should try. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Thanks. Now, and I walked out.
But if you're looking at the people that she would be associated with, somebody like Bailey's, brands that could pay a lot of money, like Amarula, some of the better brands, Maybelline, L'Oreal. When you have a history of being a 304, you're basically saying that as a brand ambassador, we love 304s, and that's the representation of the women that we have. And that's really not the case. Sorry. And that's really the case. And what we're really seeing is a person who hasn't been able to understand the industry, a person who hasn't been able
Well, she's
to
not that
understand
smart.
what folks want. And typically, people who struggle in relationships also struggle with business. It's the same mentality. The people who struggle in business never understand what somebody wants.
Yep.
The people who struggle in relationships never understand what somebody wants.
Yep.
The people who do the worst only care about what they want, right?
Yep.
And you take that mentality everywhere you go. And just because you have leverage, you had some when you're 24, you got some when you're 34. You will have less leverage at 44. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Big Jackson.
O'Shea been on the roll lately. I might have to reach out to that brother because he has built up a lot of folks on YouTube. And the funny thing is, he didn't even charge them to do it. But most of these guys are charging you.
Honey chicken, fresh grilled chicken, seared peppers, and pure honey.
But yeah, she's not even a real model. She just posts
Chipotle honey chicken is back.
first trap pics on Instagram and do short form content videos.
If you're on SNAP, Medicaid, SSI, or other government assistance,
Which is good for her. Short form content is actually where she needs to be, because if you had to listen to her and how stupid she actually is, it wouldn't go well for her. The less that she talks, the better.
Certainly a lot of build-up and anticipation for what Marvel's going to be doing with Avengers Doomsday. And a lot of that is not positive. A lot of it is people who are very hesitant to step back into this franchise, step back into this world, knowing the failures that we've seen over the past few years. Now, I've said time and time again that this movie is going to do big numbers. Also probably is going to be the most expensive movie ever made. And will it deliver? Will it make a profit? Will it get people excited for the Marvel Cinematic Universe again? These are the things that it has to do. It has to get people.
It's gonna do
invested. It
well,
has to get people looking
but it's
forward to
probably
the
gonna
future.
break even because they're
And
probably gonna
typically,
spend
at San Diego Comic-Con,
like
for Hall H, Kevin Feige gets
with
up in front of
both
everybody
with
and
both the
talks about
production
everything that they're
budget
doing in the
and the
future,
marketing
everything that
budget.
you Marvel
You're looking
fans
at
have to
probably
be
like
excited
$800
for.
million
And some years it's
alone,
been bigger and
if
better
not
than
more.
others. Of course, this
So
is
they
the
gotta make
7-year
over $1
anniversary of
billion.
when he got up there and talked about Blade.
They gotta make like
Obviously, that
$2
has not
billion
come
to actually
fruition, so just
show a
because
profit,
something's
because
announced doesn't mean it will happen.
even if they made $1
Regardless of
billion
Hall
in the
H and
box
Comic-Con
office,
again over
they
the
split
weekend,
half of the
and they did
profits
make a
with
couple
the
announcements, but
theaters,
honestly,
which means
I
they
think the
keep
fans who
about
went there were
500 of that,
expecting a little bit
which
more.
would mean that they would be in the
Marvel's
red
Comic-Con
if
panel
say like
excites fans for
the
Doomsday,
budget,
but leaves them
both the production
cautiously
budget and the marketing budget
about what's
is
beyond.
like
And
$600 or
I wish
more,
I could
which
show
it
you
probably
the
is going to
trailer they
be.
showed at San Diego Comic-Con, but obviously it's exclusive. Anyone that puts it up, it's getting
Because
it's
I'm
getting
the tire,
copyright
but
takedown,
because the
all
thing
of
is,
that
they
stuff.
always
So I
tell you
can't
the production
actually show
budget
you
to
that.
make it sound like
But
it didn't
was
cost that
a
much. They
little
don't
bit
tell
of
you
a
the
mashup
marketing
of
budget.
some other
Usually, the
things that
marketing
we've
budget
already
is almost as
seen
much as the
from
production
this
budget.
specific trailer, some
Sometimes
extended
it's even
sequences,
more
and a little bit more
because
insight into Doom and where
because
he came from and
the
possibly what some of
accounting
his
when it comes to the marketing
motivations
budget is
are.
really
And as
sketchy.
they say in the
It's
headline, the
hard to
trailer
really
rocks
tell,
Comic-Con.
but you could,
Doctor Doom raises army of
but
Sentinels
a
to take
good
down the Avengers, Fantastic Four, and the
a good
X-Men.
guesstimate to say that
So
a
they're
marketing
playing a
budget is
little bit of
usually at
exclusive
least
Doomsday stuff, which I
at
think
least
everyone
half of the
expected.
production
Maybe
budget.
people expected
So
a
if a
little bit
movie
more on the Doomsday
costs
aspect,
like
but certainly
say 300
people are
million
wondering
to
what
make,
other announcements you're
the
going to make
production
this year at
budget,
Hall H.
you're gonna
Obviously,
assume
there must be
that
something. You're going
the
to tell us about the
advertising and
plans for the
marketing is
fucking
about half of
X-Men
that, about
finally,
150,
the MCU
which
X-Men,
means
not the
it
Fox
costs a
X-Men.
total of about
But we
450 to
didn't
make
get
the
anything
film,
about the X-Men, and
which
I think one
means
of the
the film
reasons
had
that
to
we
make at
seem
least
cautiously
will have to
optimistic
make
is because we really only got two
900
announcements. Ryan Gosling is
right
involved in one of them, but for the other one, we'll talk about first. For the other
to
one,
break even.
we got Black Panther
Because
3,
again, even if it made
and
900 at
T'Challa's
the
back.
box
No,
office,
it's
it
not
has
the
split half
recaps
of
that
that
they
with
should
the
have done from
theaters,
the very
which is
beginning
450
instead
million.
of,
So they
you
would
know,
just be breaking
basically
even.
dragging the corpse of Chadwick Boseman through the fucking theaters to profit off people's sympathy for them. They should have just recast T'Challa when that happened. That's what Chadwick Boseman
Yeah, but people,
family wanted to happen.
the thing
But
is,
no,
they
they
did. People
decided to
said
use
they
that
didn't
to
want him
try to plug
recast back
people's
then. That's why they
emotional
didn't
heartstrings
do
to
it. They
get
were
money.
actually listening
Well,
to the
now
fans.
we're
I'm not
getting
mad
into
at them
another
for
Black
that.
Panther movie,
But
and
what
it
I
turns
did
out
hate is how they
that
made it a little
T'Challa's son
black
will be
female
the
thing.
star of Black Panther 3. How does this work timeline-wise, considering he was like
Carter says, I look forward to
5
seeing
or
Doomsday.
6 or 8 years old or whatever
You
when
might
he
want to look
saw
at,
in Black
well,
Panther 2?
there
Don't
is
ask me those
a,
questions because I
they
don't have
leaked the
the
entire
answers,
script
but
of the movie.
David
So I don't know if you want to
Johnson
see that or
put
not.
T'Challa's
But what
son
I will say
December
is
2028 release
that
for
screen, that
Panther
script
3.
leak
Wakanda
is
forever,
the leak
evidently. But the one that I think
for
made
that
more noise
for the
was
for the
that
script for Doomsday
was
is
the
not good.
announcement about
It's not
Ghost
good.
Rider
And if you,
starring
I'll, s-
Ryan
my
Gosling.
only spoiler
And
for
this
this
has been
is
something that's
if you
floated
like
around the
Tobey
interwebs.
Maguire's
If you
Spider-Man,
told me if they were
yeah,
going to make an announcement
you
for
might.
Black 3
That's all I'll say about that.
and that Ryan Gosling was going to announce to star in a
So
Marvel
Doom's a
movie,
bad
I would
dude
have said they're doing the
if he
fucking
takes
deed.
the
They're
X-Men,
embracing it.
Fantastic Four, and
They're
Avengers to
doing
fight
it.
him.
We are
Well, yeah, that
getting
comes from
White
you. So
Panther.
you probably
Not
aren't
exactly.
familiar with the
Not
Wars
exactly what's
saga.
happening. But
There was two
instead,
Secret Wars. There was the
we
original
are
Secret
going to
Wars in
get
the
Ryan
80s,
Gosling in a Ghost
from
Rider movie.
which
And
was
I'm not
actually
gonna play
made.
this entire thing
The
because
comic
they
was actually
involve
based off the
Josh
toy line
Horowitz
instead of the
from
toy
the
line being
Avid
based
Stack
off
and
the
Goose
comics and the
podcast, and this
cartoon.
kind of
So
this
they
kind of
made a
cringeworthy
toy
before
line
he introduces it. But I will
for the
play
Marvel
the end
superheroes
of
back in the
where
80s,
he's
and the
asking, yeah,
Secret
I've asked you
Wars was
forever,
based
Kevin,
off that.
you know, what do you think about, you know, Ghost Rider?
But it looks
Blah, blah,
like
blah.
they're gonna take combinations of both Secret Wars 1 and Secret Wars 2.
For years. I think the fans
And
Ryan Gosling.
so in that comic, Doomsday become takes he takes the powers of the Beyonders for himself, and he consolidates different portions of the multiverse into one world. Okay. War world or whatever, and he reigns as God King on it. And I think it's powered the that world is powered by Molecule Man. Obviously, they're probably not going to use the Beyonders and Molecule Man in this. They're probably going to use some sort of MacGuffin. I think what's going to probably what's going to happen is they're going to use the Fantastic Four's son Franklin Richards as his power source for taking over the multiverse and destroying it and all this sort of stuff. Because it's supposed to be that they're going to destroy the multiverse and reset it so that all these different franchises are in one world, since Disney owns all the stuff now from um, Fox Studios. So they own Fantastic Four, they own X-Men, and they're leasing Spider-Man from Sony. Uh, and they're kind of leasing Hulk and Namor the Submariner. The reason why you don't see Hulk films is because the the rights to the Hulk is still actually owned by, I think, Universal Studios, so he can use in context to the Avengers films. This is why you only see him in Avengers related content, because that's the only time they can actually use him. Namor, uh, they can use him, but they don't have the rights to the name Submariner, so they never refer to him as the Submariner. Namor, which is so gay, but anyway. um, uh, Plus, there was no build up to this because originally the big bad was supposed to be King, but when they fired what's his name, they got rid of the character as well because he had an exclusive contract with Marvel Studios at the time and Disney that only he could play King. So when they fired him, they couldn't use the character anymore he had because Jonathan, whatever his name is, had an exclusive contract with Marvel Studios to be the only one to play the character. So the only way they could bring King back is if they actually like brought him back as well, which they actually can do. But in any case, they were building up Kang to be the big bad originally, and then I think in Secret Wars, then they would have probably introduced Doctor Doom as the big bad, but Kang was supposed to be like the Thanos of the multiverse, and that obviously didn't pan. I mean, they fucked it up anyway because I mean, behind the scenes, Squabble has shown that they were probably getting rid of the character even before they fired Jonathan for his legal hiccups because the character wasn't being received well by the fan base. But that was their fault. Why introduce the big bad for the multiverse saga and have him get beat the first time you meet him? That doesn't make sense. The first time you see him, he gets beat by Ant-Man. He gets beat by the weakest by the weakest character in the Avengers. I mean, well, not technically. Hawkeye might be, but you get what I'm saying. Like, no one looks at Ant-Man like and be like, "Ooh, Ant-Man!" Like, on top of that, he didn't even beat him using his powers. He beat him in an actual fist fight. Even though this guy was doing all this exposition about like, Ant-Man, didn't I kill you before? In another world, another universe, some blah blah blah. Like he was talking all this trash and gets beat up in a fist fight with Ant-Man. Then he gets beat again on Loki season 1. Then he comes back on Loki 2, season 2, and gets beat. It's like, no, like there was no. He was gonna be the worst. Like, I guess the only thing they would have covered for it is they were gonna have like a multiverse of Thanos. Sorry, of Kings, the Council of Kings or whatever. They would have been the big threat, I guess. But no one respected him as a threat to the Avengers or the universe when he got beat the very first time you met him by Ant-Man. So apparently Marvel Studios was already going to get rid of the character anyway. But that was kind of solidified when Jonathan got into trouble and they just fired him. And they pivoted to Doomsday to Doctor Doom in an act of desperation. Uh, is it? Oh yeah, he can manipulate universes. I remember Kang in the Ant-Man movie. There was 1,000 versions of him. Yeah, the Council of Kings was It was whack. Then they used the version of him. Uh, there was like the version they met back in time in ancient Egypt, who became the one. I forgot what his name was, but on Loki, it was just bad. And Jonathan was just overacting. Like the character was just too over the top.
But I will play the end of it here, where he's asking, I've asked you forever, Kevin. What do you think about, Ghost Rider and blah, blah, blah.
I feel like I'm entitled to ask you one question that I've been asking you for years. What the fans really want to see Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider? Well, I just feel like I've seen all the fan art over the years, and I've been talking to you about it. I've been talking to Ryan about it.
Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider. That would be a good look, but everyone they get to play Ghost Rider is too old. When Nicolas Cage played him, he was too fucking old. Like Johnny Cage, like in the beginning, Johnny Cage is like 18 years old. You got like a 50-year-old man playing an 18-year-old. Oh, so they are going to do a Ghost Rider. Okay. So hopefully they're not going to do the Spanish Ghost Rider. No one cared about him. He's not even a well-known version of him.
And then Ryan Gosling is there to introduce that he will be Ghost Rider.
So Ryan Gosling is playing Ghost Rider. Okay.
Going forward.
Oh, shit.
Now, I don't know if this exactly had the pop that they were thinking about. Everyone in the chat said not staged at all, not scripted. It was obviously scripted. It's staged.
It was obviously.
Okay. Look, taking it, let's step back and pretend that Marvel hasn't been in this terrible funk, that Marvel's not fighting everything on the The idea of Ryan Gosling starring a Ghost Rider movie, I think, like, in a vacuum, actually pretty cool. I think could be really good casting. It's something he's wanted to do for a while. You've got a person who's passionate about playing this character and passionate about the comics. He's been talking about it for a while. I think that's actually like a good announcement. The problem is, it's like, man, we're sitting here talking about Avengers Doomsday and like every character we've ever seen fighting fucking Robert Downey Jr. as Victor Von Doom, and then Secret Wars and what happens after that. And we get an announcement of a Ghost Rider movie. And that's like the biggest announcement you made. That's the thing that I think left a lot of people in the hall a little bit cautious and maybe a little bit disappointed with what they went there and saw compared to what they were expecting. And not only is Ryan Gosling going to be there, but Sean Levy, who's directing his Star Wars movie, by the way, Star Wars Starfighter, is going to be the director for the Ghost Rider movie, which some people love Sean Levy, some people hate Sean Levy. He obviously directed a very successful Deadpool and Wolverine movie.
Oh, okay.
Very recently. So that was the biggest announcement. And
I mean, Ghost Rider's never been that big of a character to me, so I'm not going to see it in the movies. I'll see it on Disney Plus.
X-Men. When are you going to cast X-Men? We know who Sadie Sink is likely playing in Spider-Man Brand New Day. But this was that big opportunity to talk about the X-Men moving forward. And we didn't really get anything about that. We got a little extended sequences of Doomsday when we just got a trailer that came out a few days ago. Black Panther 3 with T'Challa's son. And a cool Ghost Rider cast.
I don't like this.
But certainly not something that's going to be
like this green screen.
A failing franchise right now.
I don't like this green screen. It looks, yeah.
Old Spice gentlemen. Guess I've always been a gentleman.
DJ?
Son, what's going on in there?
I'll be out in a few
Hours.
Pause. Let's see. What's up, Tina? She's a long time no see. Yeah. What's going on? Have you heard from Moonlit Fern? It's like Kat and I are wondering if the dude is, actually amongst us, the living. 'Cause I haven't heard from him in 6 months, 7 months, something like that. Yeah, it's not looking well that no one's heard from him. He was, you know, depressed about some health news he told me, and he thought it had to do with his age. I'm not going to give away too much, but it had nothing to do with his age. But lifestyle he lived for years caught up with him and caused him some health complications. Um, and that was the last I heard from him. He had changed his username here on YouTube. I know that, but beyond that, Bangkok Stunner shows us around and took.
Yes, good idea. I can plan it. Yeah, good plan. Let's get our tuk-tuk machine and get looking. See, just up the road was a place where I think it was a shopping centre.
Hmm. Yeah, let's get into this Black Panther with the guy. I know he was talking about his house being more than he was told was wrong. I don't know what you mean. He didn't mention anything about his house. Like I said,
hiding their price hikes from patients and ignoring federal transparency laws. That's another 15 yards for deception. Tell Congress, stop the big hospitals and their pricing abuses.
So if you were paying attention, San Diego Comic-Con happened over the weekend, and there were a lot of announcements. Marvel took to Hall H and revealed the future of the MCU, which included a few announcements. One being Ryan Gosling will be playing Ghost Rider, which that could be cool. I'm happy that Ghost Rider is coming back. One of my favorite characters. I think Ghost Rider.
I never really cared about.
And I'm glad that they're going with Johnny Blaze and not.
I mean, that's what I said, Johnny
Rider.
Blaze. I kept saying Johnny
I forget
Cage,
his
Johnny
name, but
Blaze.
He's a Ghost Rider that drives a car. Stupid. I don't really get the decision there, but whatever. I understand some people like him. If you like him, that's fine. I just think Ghost Rider should always be on a motorcycle or a horse or something. It's literally in the name, rider. You don't ride a car, you drive it.
He's gonna wait.
But
I know they're
anyway,
not gonna put him in a car.
there's
That's
that,
stupid.
a couple of other things, and then there was the announcement of a new Black Panther. They're bringing T'Challa.
The house he and his wife
Not
bought
really
needed
T'Challa,
more
they're bringing
repairs. That's why.
son
That's what they were told.
into
Oh,
the
okay.
mix. So he will be grown up now, and he will be taking on the mantle of T'Challa, Black Panther.
Yeah, he never
all
mentioned
this
that to
dumb
me.
Going into Secret Wars, why would you not just reboot and recast? But they're going forward with the Junior as the new one.
Okay,
And,
so it is gonna be the
It
son.
was always stupid to do that with Shuri and killing off the character because Chadwick Boseman died. Literally, they monetized his death. It's stupid to do. I think you should have just recast, but they wanted to base an entire movie.
Oh
around
yeah, I'm
him
not
dying
going to see that.
because
That's going to be
the
his
actor died,
son.
literally monetizing his death,
That's whack.
and it didn't help that the movie sucked shit. Now, the first one I actually kind of liked. A lot of it has to do with Chadwick Boseman doing a really good job in that role.
Yeah, to be honest, the
Second
first
one
movie
was
wasn't
general
that
because
good.
it was just poorly written.
It was just
Like,
Chadwick
I don't
Boseman
know, taking
was
the
such a
entire
good
army of Wakanda to the
character,
middle of the sea,
but the
giving
movie
your
wasn't
enemy
that
the
good.
advantage and then fighting on
It
a
should have been
boat
him fighting
where if it
Claw,
goes
not
down,
his
your
cousin,
entire army is screwed.
Killmonger.
It was a stupid idea. It was a stupid movie. But some people are upset.
Yeah. And
Where
part
if
two
it
is
goes
dumb.
down, your entire army is screwed. It was a stupid idea. It was a stupid movie. But some people are upset that Letitia Wright will be getting knocked down and will no longer have the mantle, of course, because we need that woman power.
No, we don't.
And then there are people
She was only briefly the
upset
Black Panther in the
over
comics as
fact-
well.
And I'm not kidding.
That was only brief.
He's not black enough. That's right. He's not black enough. It should be an American black guy
It should be.
that plays T'Challa. They're mad that he's from Britain. He's English. He's not American, which in itself is retarded.
No, it's
Because
the reason people are
Black Panther
objecting
from
is because
Africa?
British Africans
why would
aren't,
it matter if he's American or not? That is
because
dumb.
Black Americans are our own
The
lineage.
whole thing is stupid. It really doesn't matter.
British
It's a picture
Africans
of
are just
character.
Africans who moved
As
to
long
Britain.
as
They're
they
not
look like the
black
character,
people.
That should all be what matters the most, right? I think so anyway. You should look
You
like
are
the
definitely
character.
white. Yeah, I
But
can
keep
tell
in
this guy.
mind, you know,
Oh
what's
no, I think
funny
he's
about
Asian.
this is some of these people are probably praising the Odyssey and the casting.
Like
and
there's
that,
Republican
but,
Republican
you
black
know,
people saying the same
Black
thing. Literally,
Panther
the
needs
black
to
Republican
be
dude,
from, not even Africa, it needs to be American.
what's his name? Said it.
Need an African American to play that character to really relate from the guy who lives in.
We don't
the
say African American,
closed
so
off
that's
border
how I
of
know
the
he's
town.
not black, because he's saying he
So
needs to
the
be
person
African American.
who
No black
got
person says
attention
African
put on this,
American.
because it's not.
None of us say that
It's
shit,
not
except for
a
Dr.
large
Umar,
portion
and he doesn't even say African
of the
American. He
fan
says
base
American
that's doing
African.
this and complaining about it. It's not that big, but it's big enough that it's annoying people. Notably, this woman right here, who has written a few Black Panther comic books. I don't think she had a long run on it, but she was frustrated enough that she took to Facebook and said this. Watching people complain about David Johnson being cast as Black Panther because he's British, and
Like I
Black
said,
Panther
the
should
black
be
Republican
Americans
Rob Smith
precisely
even
why I
complained
walked
about
away
this.
from the whole Black Panther thing years ago. American.
He's
I
a
know
black
what they
Republican,
mean by
Rob
that
Smith.
word.
He
This
complained about
country
it.
has so many fucked up identity issues. Xenophobia. is
There's not
right here.
xenophobia. She's a
And
tether.
It's not limited
She's a tether.
to white
She-
Americans.
She's a tether.
And that's what brought a lot of attention to this. There's
She's a
also
tether.
people that are mad because apparently the guy is gay. I got news for you. Just about all of the men that are into acting, just about all of them are gay. A large majority of men in theater and in Hollywood are gay. So I just find all of this comical, right? I think it's funny. People are complaining that this dude is too American, or not too American, too British, right? If you go and you look around on X, you can find some of the.
No, it's
posts
because British
people are
Africans have been
mad
taking the
that
roles
he's
of black
not
Americans.
American.
When the same cannot be
know,
said. Black
nobody
Americans cannot go
that's black in
overseas
America
and take those
is
roles
living in
made
Africa,
for
right?
Africans.
They're not
And they're-
from Africa. They're
They
from America.
can't.
They live in America. They're born here in most cases.
The
A
only
lot of
time
them
you
have never
see
been to Africa. So what the
black
hell
American
does that
actors
have to do
overseas
with
playing
being
characters in Africa
cast in the
are
role?
like really
It's stupid.
are like
How could
the
you even relate
are
to
like the
people
marquee
from
actors
there?
who have become
I'm
like,
surprised they're not advocating
you know,
that
has-beens
somebody
now
from
or whatever,
Africa,
but they were
if
like
that's what
big
they're
here
going to
once
do.
and they get
Just
recruited
seems
to
kind of
Nollywood
dumb.
films.
Yeah, it seems like a dumb piece of criticism, right? But there's legit people mad about it.
It is. You understand, but you're not black, so maybe you should shut the fuck up.
My name is Madeline, and I'm a proud student of the
university of the people.
The program seemed flexible.
A ton of online resources that are available for you.
Do something at a very low cost that was still a high caliber educational experience. That's very attractive to me.
Big government politicians and bureaucrats gave data middlemen access to your financial information without requiring them to keep it safe. A new Trafalgar poll shows they're wrong. Nearly 75% of voters are concerned about financial information being accessed without their approval. 86% of voters say data middlemen must meet bank security standards. Mr. President, those are big, beautiful numbers. Open banking doesn't require open access on Americans' financial data.
Here's a couple of them. If you just wanted to see some, David Johnson is Black Panther? Bro, this feels like Marvel. Settling instead of going with dancing who looked perfect. Or if they just ruined the whole legacy by picking the safe British dude over the real one. Or David Johnson is Black Panther? How soon will African Americans begin to complain about yet another Englishman taking an iconic Black American role? He's from Africa. He's not American. Why aren't you saying? See, and I really want to dig through some of these accounts and see if
It was created in America, you
about
dick.
the Odyssey being fictional and fake.
Black Panther was literally a character created by two Jewish guys, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby,
It should be fine. What does it matter?
made for
Here's
a
another
black
one.
comic
Johnson's
book
black
audience,
they really passed on.
a Black American
Audience
comic book
for some
audience.
Random British guy with zero connection to the culture. Chadwick's rolling in his grave.
Nah.
I don't think he cared. I think he would have wanted them to recast personally. I don't know if he ever said that, but you know, I think
He
would
probably would
rather
have.
the original role moved on. But
But this guy sounds
this is the
stupid.
route they're going, and this is what happens. Now people are mad about the dude being from Britain. Apparently, he's not African enough, and to be African enough, he needs to be African.
Yeah, he's a white guy. I knew it. Google's a
Now,
yes
personally,
YouTuber commentator.
as I said
Yellow
before,
Flash 2, known for
I
pop
think
culture
that they
and
should
comic
just
commentary on
reboot
Yellow Flash 2.
and
It's
bring
widely
back
understood and identified by
T'Challa,
community
the
members
new
and
actor.
peers to be a
They
white
should do
man.
it with more than just him.
He generally
Bring back
maintains
Steve
an
Rogers,
anonymous or
bring back Tony
VTuber
Stark,
style
all the
profile
characters
on
that
his
they
main
killed
channel,
should
but
come
references
back
to his
with a
identity by
rebooted
online
MCU
communities
with people
and
that,
collaborators indicate
you
he
know,
is
will
white.
be around
And I
long
mean, it's
enough
not too hard to
to
tell from the
do
dumb shit he's
movies
saying right
until
now. I
they
thought the guy,
become unprofitable, which
I used to watch the
every
guy because I
artist
thought he
is,
was
and,
black.
you know, you're gonna see him
Oh,
quite
and
a
and
bit
it's
of a-
obviously from his commentary, he's not.
They
Because
just
when
bring it,
even
you
black
do a
Republicans are
full-on movie
complaining
with everybody there now. You have
that
all
they
the
need to
rights
stop
everybody
giving
except Spider-Man,
black
but you don't have a
roles
lead
to
on it,
British
Kanye with
Africans,
Sony. So you could
it's
do
it,
a
like
proper
it is
MCU now, but instead they're choosing to leave it all
it's
fucked
a
up
thing.
still. Which, you
But
know, okay, that
Africans
makes no sense.
who
Because
tether
the
on, this is why we
rumor
call them
is, or
tethers,
I guess not a rumor,
the
Kevin Feige
Africans
talked about it, said
and sometimes
they're not gonna do
Caribbeans
a total
who tether
reboot.
on to the Black
They're
American
gonna
community, the
keep things
FBA,
going with
Foundation of Black
Secret Wars.
American
Makes
Community,
no sense.
often
But
talk about
whatever.
us being divisive when we
They
wanted to
certainly done just
delineate
fine lately, haven't they?
because
So we'll see
there
how
are
it all
limited
works out.
resources in things like,
And who even knows if this
you
movie
know,
gets made?
jobs,
Same with the Ryan Gosling movie.
housing,
Deadpool 4
scholarships,
apparently
stuff like
is in
that,
the
stuff
works.
that they take
Who
and then
knows
claim
if
they're
any of
black
these
when they're
even get
taking
made?
them,
Because I'm gonna tell
but
you,
then
if
tout their
Doomsday
own
fails,
national
that is a wrap.
identities or
And
or
they don't
specific
care
tribal
if that movie
identities when they're in these
makes bank
positions.
or not.
They
What they
will
want
identify as
for
Nigerian
Doomsday
American
are good optics.
or
They
Liberian
want a good
American
box office,
or
high
Somali
number,
American or
and
blah
they
blah blah
want
blah blah.
people
When we just say
excited, and
black.
they want butts in seats. And butts in seats.
And then
Because Doomsday needs
when we wanted to delineate and say, well, we're
to get
foundational
people
Black American,
excited
why are
about the
you being
MCU.
divisive? Aren't we all
Then Secret
black?
Wars will come,
No,
and we'll see how
no,
that does. But if
no.
Doomsday fails, if that's a flop, I think that's pretty much it, right? They're probably just done.
And
Will
British
they still even
Africans
make Secret Wars?
are the
As I
same
said, they're
thing.
gonna slow
Like,
down and focus
you're
on
not black
quality.
folks. You're a bunch of Africans who immigrated
After
to the UK.
Secret Wars, or after Doomsday, there will be no Marvel movies between
But you guys like to
Doomsday
cosplay as
and
black when it's
Secret Wars,
convenient,
so they can focus
especially
on
when it
quality. So I
comes to
think even
getting
if Doomsday flops,
roles in
they still
entertainment
give it
here in
one more
America. You
shot
like to
with Secret
cosplay as
Wars.
black.
If Secret Wars also flops, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. And then they'll have to do a total reboot in what, 10 years? Now you'll still see Spider-Man movies, you'll still see X-Men, Batman, but a shared universe, I think that's open. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we're coming to the
Who
death
knows?
of comic book
Who knows
films.
anymore?
Like just like the
Anyway,
westerns of the
let me know what you
60s, how
guys
the
think. Are you surprised by the song
westerns used
contest?
to
It
rule
kinda was.
the
Like, who
50s and
cares who
60s
British?
Hollywood.
Who gives a shit?
Then that came to
Who
a
British?
stop.
I mean, it's not really that
But
big of a deal.
every once in a while, you still get a
Looks
good Hollywood
fine, I guess.
western,
I don't know.
True Grit
Anyway,
or something like that,
what are your
right?
thoughts on all this? Also, if you would
You
please
get
like,
Tombstone,
subscribe,
you
share
get
the
True
video, hit
Grit.
that notification bell. We'll see you on the next
So
one.
same thing with comic book movies. The whole era of Hollywood being all about the MCU and the DCEU is over. And what will happen is we'll still get good comic book movies here from time to time. We'll get another good Batman film. We'll get a good Spider-Man film. We might get some X-Men films, something like that here, and good here. But it won't. But it's not going to dominate Hollywood. Like really, the only thing that kept Hollywood from dying much sooner than it already than it.
With Purdue Global, the juggling act just.
The only thing that kept Hollywood afloat for the past 20 years has really been comic book films. Or Hollywood would be in the state it is now back in like the 2000s, the late 2000s. It was the Dark Knight trilogy,
Important notes next to a picture of Mr. Pig. But here's what most people
then
don't
the
realize,
MCU,
is that going back to school doesn't mean starting from scratch.
and the
At Purdue
DCEU.
Global, the learning
They
you have
kept
gained from
Hollywood
experience you
afloat
already
for the
have
most part.
matters, which means your degree may be closer than you think.
But yeah, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Yeah, I'm gonna hit don't recommend channel from this guy because he sounds like a dick. Like he's like a wannabe critical drinker, wannabe nerdrotic. Like everyone's trying to be like those guys. I like Ryan Kendall though. And this guy computing forever, the Scottish dude.
Hey yo, this week
About to watch him now.
are half off at Domino's. Order online, in store, or call. Whoever gets that pizza in your hands.
Another day. Same pain.
I would say,
same
does
mess,
David Johnson
same
have
struggle
the
over situation.
athleticism and physique to play back path?
Injections
I don't know
of
anything
Humira
about
and
him.
Advil work similarly
All I know
to
now
treat
is that he's
moderate to severe
playing
rheumatoid arthritis.
T'Challa
But if your
Jr.
symptoms
Like
haven't
he's not playing
improved
T'Challa.
enough,
I thought they
Rainbow
finally
Power
did the smart thing and recast him.
It's a once-daily
So they're not even
delivery
recasting
gradually
T'Challa.
drink
They're
daily
using him to
doses
play
of
his
as fast as
son.
1 week or
Like
so.
why? Just
Even after 5
recast the
years,
character.
many people felt this relief, and Rinvoq can stop further joint
So
damage.
Stan Lee had Black Panthers squabbling up with Klansmen in the comics. Yep, he sure did. Actually, well, I'm not gonna credit that to Stan Lee. I'm gonna credit that to who really did that. That was Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby did that. Stan Lee took a lot of Jack Kirby's like. I mean, he didn't steal it, but a lot of stuff that's attributed to Stan Lee was really Jack Kirby. It's sort of like Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Steve Wozniak was really the one doing all the brilliant stuff for Apple, but Steve Jobs took all the credit. Sometimes that was the case with Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Stan Lee was taking the credit for what people like Jack Kirby or Steve, I forgot the guy's name, who created Spider-Man. Like,
that show is finished.
It's sort of the same thing.
Show after season 5. Likewise, Starfleet Academy.
So Delroy Lindo's honorary FBA.
Next year.
I don't know Delroy. I thought Delroy Lindo was black. I mean, a black American. I didn't know he was African.
Nickelodeon kids cartoon series called Star Trek Scouts, which will do.
Like I said, I don't have anything against Delroy Lindo or Idris Elba.
The well has run dry when it comes to new Star Trek. There is a film in the works from
But
writer,
I mean, come on, you had a black African guy playing a dude from Baltimore in The Wire. Like even I didn't even watch The Wire like that, but even back then I knew that dude wasn't from like Baltimore.
That's still up to speculation. The film's script doesn't appear to be finished yet, and there's no official announcement of a release date. So there doesn't seem to be much momentum
And again,
for that project at the present time.
try
There
throwing
hasn't
someone from
been a Star
Baltimore
Trek film since 2016's
into,
Star Trek
into
Beyond,
playing a
the
character
final
from
Kelvin
London
timeline film. Paramount have
with a
seemingly
Cockney
been
accent
unable
and
to
all
move
of that.
forward
Like,
with a major cinematic Star Trek
they
release.
wouldn't want
And
it.
it kind of
They
reminds me
they
of
wouldn't
the
do it.
status of Fast and Furious 11, a film many people have serious doubts as to whether it'll ever even get made. There's no real urgency for this new Star Trek film, and I'm skeptical if there's even
Wait,
much
new
of an
Star Trek
appetite
film.
for it. Star Trek movie.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna get my wife to watch First Contact with me. No, not First Contact. I already made her watch that with me. Insurrection. I want to see if I need to check to see if Insurrection is on.
It seems
still
that
on
the
Tubi.
well has run dry when it comes to new Star Trek. There is a film in the works from writer-directing duo Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly, and it's going to have a new cast set sometime in Star Trek's future. But what that timeline means and which universe it's going to be set in, that's still up to speculation. The film's script doesn't appear to be finished yet, and there's no official announcement of a release date. So there doesn't seem to be much momentum for that project at the present time. There hasn't been a
He's
Star
been in
Trek
America
film
for so
since
long, he's just
2016's
adopted the
Star Trek
culture.
Beyond,
Oh, okay.
the final Kelvin timeline film.
Yeah, Delroy Lindo. It's
Paramount
no.
have
He
seemingly
gotta be
been
what, in the
unable
70s
to move
now.
forward with a major cinematic Star Trek release.
But I never knew
And
he
it kinda
was
reminds
from
me of the
another country.
status of Fast and Furious 11, a film
I remember
many
him
people have
having like
serious doubts as to whether it'll ever even get made.
a Caribbean
There's no real
accent in the
urgency
Malcolm
for
X
this new Star
movie,
Trek film.
but I thought he
I'm
was just.
skeptical
I thought that
if
was
there's
just
even
him.
much of an appetite for it.
I thought him
Star
was
Trek
that was
movies
him just
back in
making
the
up that
day,
accent for the
which
movie.
is
I
to
didn't know
say
that
the
was his
first
actual
10
accent.
films
But that's
of
the only
6
time I ever
TV
heard
West films were
Delroy
Next
Lindo speak
Generation
with an
films.
accent
They were
was in the
kind of
Malcolm
niche.
X movie when
I mean,
he
they
was
were,
playing one
which is why
of
their
Malcolm
budgets were
X's
generally
mentors
not very
when he
big.
was still Malcolm
With the
Little.
exception of Motion Picture, which went over budget, of course, Paramount were understandably quite conservative with how much money they spent on those films because the margins were relatively slim. Generally, the films were profitable, but the likes of Star Trek V barely made its money back, and Star Trek Nemesis was a flop, which ended the film franchise in 2002.
Yeah, Nemesis was not good. And I didn't even watch that till like 10 years ago. I didn't even know there was a Star Trek. That's how bad it was. I never even knew there was a Star Trek Nemesis that came out.
Generally, the films were profitable, but the likes of Star
The
Trek
reason I even
V
knew about Star Trek Nemesis
barely
was
made its
because
money
of the
back,
Star
and
Trek
Star Trek
reboot.
Nemesis was a flop, which ended the film franchise in 2002.
Yeah, I didn't even know that came out.
They were kind of niche. I mean, they were, which is why their budgets were generally not very big. With the exception of Motion Picture, which went over budget, of course, Paramount were understandably quite conservative with how much money they spent on those films because the margins were relatively slim. Generally, the films were profitable, but the likes of Star Trek V barely made its money back, and Star Trek Nemesis was a flop.
And Star Trek
which
V
ended the
was
film
not good.
franchise in 2002.
Star Trek V is still
It
better than
wasn't
any of the
until
newer
the
stuff,
J.A.C.
though.
Abrams directed
Star
reboot
Trek
in
V was the worst out of
2009
all of the
when
movies. It was
serious
still
money
better.
was thrown at a Star Trek film
Well,
for
the
first
worst out
time.
of the original
Star Trek
series movies,
2009 had a big budget,
but still better
relative to the
than
first 10 films.
anything that came
And
out
this
in the
was because
last
Paramount were
15
trying
years.
to turn Star Trek into a big summer blockbuster franchise that appealed to general audiences, which is why it was a fast-paced, loud, flashy, lowbrow action movie. It was a novelty at the time, and I think that's why it did okay. It did okay, but it didn't perform as well as Paramount hoped because they wanted a billion-dollar movie franchise like Transformers. And Star Trek 2009 made just $385 million at the box office, as you can see here from Box Office Mojo. And it had a budget of $150 million. So they tried again in 2013. Into Darkness came out, and that made $467 million, although the budget was bigger again at $190 million. And finally, in 2016, Star Trek Beyond came out, and that made only $343 million from a $185 million budget. The failure of this film to generate significant profit is the reason a fourth Kelvin timeline movie never materialized. The issue is that, as we saw with the first 10 Trek films, spending massive money on a Star Trek movie is just not financially justifiable. It's not Star Wars. It's not James Bond. It's not Marvel. It's not Transformers or Jurassic World. It's not those kinds of franchises. Yes, Star Trek has a global but niche audience, and it doesn't have as much interest from general audiences. There's some interest, but not as much as there is for those other franchises I mentioned. And add to that the creative decline of the franchise in recent years and how stunning and brave it's become, as we've seen with Star Trek Starfleet Academy. The franchise is just, I don't think it's in a good place at the present time. So coming back to the beginning, there's no new live-action Star Trek TV show in the works at the moment. Nothing has been greenlit, and the film sounds like it has a bit of a vague roadmap right now. And honestly, I think when it comes to Star Trek news, there's just nothing to see here, which is a great shame, because the 60th anniversary, I think, should be a time of great celebration for Star Trek fans. The 30th anniversary was marked by 2 fantastic episodes of Star Trek: Deep Space Nine's Trials and Tribulations and Voyager's Flashback. And they both faithfully connected back to the original series, and both episodes served as a wonderful valentine to the beginning of the franchise and the history of Star Trek. No such commemorative episode appears to be on the horizon in 2026. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell.
You would think they would do
to be
something
notified
big for the
future updates.
60th
Share the
anniversary.
video out there. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you. All Domino's pizzas are half off, no matter how you order. But it's this week only, so you're on it.
Looking for great deals and
Hey,
low
what
rates?
time is
Check out
it?
the Mazda
Oh, it's getting late
Sales
again.
event happening now. Buy as low as 0% APR finance.
Introducing the new Gillette Labs Body Razor, our safest body shave ever. Gillette. Did you know CancerGuard can screen for multiple cancers?
Good to know.
It's one simple blood test. Aha, good to know. Nearly 70% of cancer.
What is
Hey, Agatha. So how's the weather there? Hot as always. Hot and humid.
one of there is a switch inside her.
Should I subscribe to this? We got so many wannabe Filipina
What?
P's now. Filipina P is the OG of being cute
One
little
of them-
Filipinas giving information to foreigners. Now every Filipina is trying to be like her. She was the
One of
first
them
one
will
doing
make-
it. She was the first one doing it. I'm gonna acknowledge the Filipina P. If you guys haven't checked out Filipina P, check her out. She gives information on the Philippines. It's fairly accurate. This one guy used to challenge her on that stuff, but she's become way more accurate. Like, she actually has like lawyers come on and talk. He has as well, but
There is a switch inside her.
her information is just more digestible than his. He comes off as very dour, and he got his channel removed because of constant complaints of stuff that he was doing. He claims that he took the channel down himself, but that was bullshit.
Everybody he One of them.
Oh, Alice, I remember that show. I forgot about Alice. Oh snap!
Your birthday rolls around and you don't say a word.
What's that? Oh.
Hey there, Democrats lose.
Mm.
Think you're.
Cherish? I remember that. Do I remember the song? Yeah.
So someone have asked me at.
Oh yeah, I'll watch this first and then I'll end it, I guess.
Chipotle honey chicken is back. Grilled chicken, chipotle pepper, pure honey. It takes heat and sweet to a whole new level.
Is it? Oh, okay, here also, yeah. Cause a lot of people going to grift off the 60th anniversary. You talking about for Star Trek? I mean, Paramount is the ones who dropped the ball on Star Trek. That's their fault. Hiring that dude Kurtzman, whatever his name is, to run the Star Trek franchise. He ran into the ground. It's like he was like almost purposefully destroying the franchise.
You mentioned your parent, your dad. I'm a dad as
So
well.
what happened to my badge? I haven't changed anything.
Parenting versus marriage.
I see a badge on my screen.
People are either aiming for neither or only one of those.
Both you and Carson have. I see badges.
That a lot of millennials and even Gen Z and even people a little bit older than millennials are having about marriage and
after I watch this, then I'm done. It's late for me. You know how I like to be done by this time.
It doesn't seem to be the same mindset that most people had like even 50 years ago.
Well, we're not also and I say we, I'm not sure your age, but I'm gonna guess around my age, right?
36.
Okay, perfect. So you're around my age. So I'm gonna say we, depending on, like, I feel like me and you are on the
Yeah, that might be a glitch on your end, but it's showing on my screen.
in the middle of growing and becoming an adult. So we can still understand what it was, and we can understand where it was going, and we got to be in the middle of the slavery, right? So we can see both perspectives. Now, if you're a little bit younger or a little bit older, you're going to be more one-sided, right? Now, with that being said, I also do see a lot of people adopting the newer ideology and mentality, and with that, that is
So Carter
the
said he can
fact
see the
that
badge
there is no
too.
durability that's being taught, right? Zero. I just had a whole mental eruption with the president of the football league here because they canceled football practice because it was raining.
What?
What? Thank you. You know what I'm saying? And you know what was told to me is that they were leaning towards safety. Now, here's the thing.
Now, I played soccer in high school, so we was out there faithfully.
Yeah, we're in the same season.
No pass, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
crazy.
and it's crazy, but like, and I agree with you, and that's what I'm saying is that
They changed the moderator icon from a wrench to a police badge, because that's basically what you guys are doing. Like, it's not, the wrench didn't really make sense as a moderator, because it's not like you're like tinkering with like the because it's not like you're working with the content itself. It's more like you're like policing you're policing the chat room. So the badge does make more sense than the wrench, but I did, until you mentioned that, I didn't even realize that they switched up the icon.
Right?
Let me put this down a second.
And or more than that, didn't have
So I can eat my fruit snacks.
biological parents in the household, right? So it's not learned for a good 30%. It's not already normal to them. What's normal to them is being either without one, whichever one it may be. So now, whatever you can normalize and whatever you're accustomed to, you're going to emulate it. And then you're also going to teach. So because you weren't taught durability, you're not taught to persevere, you're not taught to literally be strong in the moments where you feel the weakest, or to keep on pushing for something, understanding that even in the moment it might not make sense, even in the moment you might want to leave this relationship, this marriage. Even in this moment, I don't know if you want to leave your kids, but maybe some people want to leave their kids. Nowadays, they're having divorce parties, divorce celebrations.
Bro,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Again,
Divorce parties are insane.
Marriage, and it's not appealing anymore. And then there are also the other side of when saying like, where's all the good men, and men don't want to get married anymore. From a male perspective, what are the risks and concerns about marrying women today than maybe you would have had like 34 years ago?
Well, we are ready. We just talked about promiscuity.
Yeah.
And that is one thing that a man, like, here's the thing. Most men don't mind investing into a woman if they have the ability to do so, whether it's time, effort, or money. Right? But why would I give all of my investment to you, time, effort, and money?
They always changing up. Yeah, you know, they got to move things around, do all that sort of stuff.
Sacrifice his life. Like, it doesn't equate to them. She just thinks he's working. No, he's sacrificing his life. He's literally devoting his life to make sure this roof is over your head, and whatever it is that he can provide, that you can agree with and agree on, you will have. That is a sacrifice. So when a man has to look at it from a perspective of like, how much am I going to sacrifice for this woman? He also has to look at how much is this woman giving to everybody else for zero sacrifices. Right? I'm not, me personally, I can only speak for me, I will never provide for a woman who is promiscuous. Ever.
Exactly.
I don't care about how much money I have. That does not mean I won't. Well, I'm in a relationship, been in a relationship, but hypothetically speaking, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't date them. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't sleep with them. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't have fun with them or go out and party with them. But I would never provide for them. Like for me, you lost that, right? You were just a fun time.
Yeah.
You're a fun time.
You know what? I think because so many of them grew up either not seeing a healthy marriage or worse, listening to someone that was in an unhealthy one, they are now trained to look at marriages with an escape plan in mind. And I think
Terrible.
yeah, I think that's the missing piece in the conversation that I've had with a lot of people is I don't think most men really believe women anymore actually mean till death do us part. There's too much evidence, the body of evidence, the things that they say, the divorce parties, always never holding the women accountable when she ends the relationship, and secretly doing things to have like this escape plan or like backup plan. Like, have you heard women articulate anything that kind of
My
gives the
fiance
impression
hasn't
that they
been
kind of
home
think
for a
that way
month.
when it comes to like
The
even their
Space
mindset
Force
of
is
wanting to
very
get married?
busy
They'll
these
say they want
days.
marriage, whenever
So
they
I'm
just
missing
probably
him.
sound like
Hoping he
somebody
gets
that's kind
time
of
off soon.
like their foot halfway out.
Uh,
Like,
Of course.
so he's
I think I agree, but here's my thing, right?
Mhm.
This is
I
something
can't say
been
he's
telling men
deployed
from the word,
because
okay?
Space Force
So
doesn't
just
deploy, but I'm
mention
guessing he's
that
he's
women
at
are
his
having divorce
permanent
parties,
duty station.
correct? And me being an influencer, content creator, I have
I
had a
kind of want to,
successful
if
business,
I were
7
younger,
figures,
I would have
done
wanted
so
to
many
do
different
Space Force,
campaigns.
but probably not.
I
It's
put a
cooler
video
than what it sounds
extremely
like. It
viral
sounds cooler than
a
what they
lot of
actually do.
times
They don't
that
actually
goes
do
on.
anything cool unless you're
And
really
it's
into
because
like,
I understand this one thing in my life that I've
you know,
lived by and I'm
some of
going
the
to tell everybody to
cybersecurity and
fucking do.
satellite communication stuff.
It's not about the
Some
amount
and
of
some
people
seriously
who are
like
applauding you. It's about the
signal
quality of
intelligence
people
type
who are
stuff.
clapping,
If that appeals
right?
to someone, then Space Force is
So you
definitely a place
have
to go.
women that
But
are having divorce parties.
yeah,
What are the quality of women or men who are having divorce parties that are clapping? I mean, that are clapping at these divorce parties. What is their quality? I'm not talking about how much money they have because money does not equate to quality. They're not
but I'm
synonymous.
sure whenever he,
But what is the
you
quality of
know,
this person's
he
integrity?
gets
What
time
is the
off, he'll
quality
be
of
able to
this
come home.
person's character? Right? And if all of those things are to be in question, you shouldn't care if they're applauding or not. You shouldn't care if they're booing or not. We've gotten to
I
a
mean,
position where we're allowing people
and there's
who
so
are
many
low
places they have
quality
permanent duty stations now. I remember originally it was just in Colorado. Now they're all over there, and they're in Greenland. They're in New England.
and that's where the problem is going. That's why there's not a
I
lot
think
of
they have a place in New York as well, but like upstate.
Person, the people clapping. Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
A few a few places in the Midwest. They've really expanded in the past 10 years.
It's being quoted as we
Well,
speak.
9 years, 'cause I think
Man.
Trump created them in 2017. 2017 to 2018, he created them. So in the
Let's just
past
say, for example,
8 years.
let's say if I was getting a divorce right now, and the only people that are clapping are people who are never able to sustain a marriage, why am I happy?
Right.
Oh, it's facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts, yes. Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
So I think that we have to get into this. I'm happy for somebody just because, or I'm feeling good. Like this validation factor that people have accumulated through social media. Personally, what I feel has literally allowed them.
Did you see the troll earlier try to call me Beetlejuice? Like, how do I resemble Beetlejuice? Like, you know, that was some little white cracker. Like, you know, I don't have anything against white folks. They are my friends. But you always got these little these little white incels that on here. You know, they probably autistic as fuck. Talking about Beetlejuice. Like, how do I resemble Beetlejuice? I'm not saying I'm the flyest cat in the world, but I am far from Beetlejuice. I just completely ignored the dude and he went away. Because the best way to deal with trolls is just not to give them attention, because that's the very thing they seek. Most of them are losers in the real world, and they should just kill themselves. And I said it, and I don't care if I get demonetized for it, because I frankly feel that most online trolls should just kill themselves and do the world a favor, earn their Darwin awards. I said what I said. Anyway, I'm out. That was my Just A Contrarian moment for you. Yeah, Beetlejuice, really? Like Beetlejuice? You know, like the dude that used to be not Beetlejuice, like the Michael Keaton's character, but the guy who used to be on the Howard Stern show. Like, come on. Streamlabs is costing me views. I don't care. I want Streamlabs up so I can deal with retards. And if you happen to be one of those retards, then good, it's doing its job. Streamlabs is not costing me views. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Unless you are someone with over 500,000 subs, I don't give a fuck what you think. I seriously don't. If you're not a YouTuber with at least 500,000 subs, don't give me advice. You ain't got shit to tell me. And we go to his screen for Sawdust, and he has 45 subscribers, just as I thought. He has a bunch of videos of his ugly ass dog. Dog looks like like it ran through the mud. Anyway, you got 45 subscribers, Sawdust. Don't offer me advice. It ain't costing me views. Doing better than you. Get your weight up. And I can fight. So, anyway. I guess yeah, I know he needs glasses. Such a handsome guy you are. Thank you. Carlos says, yeah, oh, that Beetlejuice. Damn. Yeah, that guy. The dude from the dude that was on the Howard Stern show. I don't even know if he's still alive. But like I said, I'm not the flyest cat in the world, but I know I don't look anything like that guy. So that was just some retarded troll incel type cat, just like this dude Sawdust. Dude got 45 subscribers and trying to tell me how to run my channel. 45 subscribers. Like, I can jerk off more content than 45 subscribers. Like, please, get your weight up. Like I said, don't come to my channel offering tips and advice if you don't have like at least 500,000 subs. Because I don't have, you ain't got shit for me to hear. And that's exactly why I'm not criticizing other YouTubers anymore. Until I get my weight up, I'm not talking about people who are bigger than me. Unless they really doing some foul shit. Like Floyd, like that guy last year, Floyd Wallace, the guy arrested in Brazil. And the YouTuber who used to be his online friend, who now was like, yeah, I knew he was weird, but you didn't do any, but never said anything. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about. People know who Floyd Wallace used to hang out with on YouTube with in the Passport Bro movement. That's all. That's all I'll say. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm out. It's getting late. the retards come out at night, and I go to bed at night. That it is what it is. Peace out, Carlton. Take it easy, Agatha. Your man will be home soon. Peace out.